So my name is Olivier Laroche. I'm from Montreal, Canada, and I'm a live music performance coach. I'm also a bass player. I started my musical career, musical journey, I'd say, when I was a child, playing guitar, but I'm still a terrible guitar player. Started playing bass when I was 15 years old in rock bands, and I'm a self-taught musician. Played rock, blues, jazz, world music, klezmer, country music, whatever. I mean, at some point in my career, it was not a matter of style, but more a matter of how much it pays. And then I'd go and do it. So it's how I learned how to be on stage. And I've played with many artists, some who were very outstanding when in their way to communicate with the audience, and some others who were terrible. And I've learned from both. I've learned a lot from both because, as a bass player, you simply are present and back up the artist and hope, but you're not the person who's in charge of communication with the artist, with the audience, I mean. So this was very beneficial to me because it was a great way to observe people and see how they acted and see how they did connect or did not connect. After a while, after playing with many people who had a hard time connecting with the audience, I thought, hey, maybe I should try myself being a singer-songwriter. So I tried. I've had a very confidential success, to be honest. I mean, it didn't work as much as I wanted it to, but still, I learned a lot as well on how to be on stage and how to communicate with the audience. I said I'm a self-taught musician, but I've always been in the arts field. I have a bachelor's degree in film studies. This is what gave me a good understanding on how to analyze art and how to analyze performance in general. I also have acting training. I've done theater training as an actor many years ago. I've had a short career as an actor and as a TV host as well. Being a television host told me a lot. It taught me a lot about communication as well. And I have a background also as a booking agent. I did represent artists and try to sell their shows to different venues or festival organizers and all that. And that taught me also a lot about the needs of the professionals in the industry who buy shows. That taught me a lot. And 5 years ago, in 2018, I noticed when I was attending a lot of music conferences, I noticed there was a problem. There was lack of preparation for a lot of artists in the way they presented themselves. And it was strange to me because music conventions could be pivotal moments in an artist's career. It can be a make or break thing. And whenever I'd be at various events, mostly in Canada, I'd see artists hit the stage and not really be ready to communicate with the audience and simply play their songs and hope for the best. They were playing one song and playing another song and in between songs introducing, this next song, blah, 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 and all that. And people didn't care. And to me, it was strange because I thought if you are fortunate enough to have landed a gig just to play a short showcase that can actually change your life, and most of you, I guess you are musicians, and I guess that most of you always wanted to make a career out of music. And whenever I'd see artists hitting the stage in these conventions and not being convincing when they're on stage, I thought, but what are they doing there? What's wrong with them? I mean, how come the show is not that outstanding? It should be outstanding. And that's when I realized that maybe I had tools in my toolbox to help people. And that's how I started coaching bands. So in 2018, I asked a friend of mine who's a music manager, and I asked him to lend me a band for 10 hours for free. I simply said, give me a band. They pay for the rehearsal space, and I'll give him my time for free, and I'll see if it works, if my ideas make sense or not. So we rehearsed a very short show. It was a show for, they were preparing for a battle of the bands, some sort of a contest. So, I thought of their show. I simply built my own method of how to create shows, and I read also other people's methods, but created my own. We did 2 4-hour rehearsals. They went to do this battle of the bands. They simply killed everybody else. They were not polite with the other bands, and obviously they won. So I thought, oh, well, maybe I have a business now here. Maybe I do have a service I can sell. And this is how I started 5 years ago, coaching bands. And now, well, lucky me, this is what I do full time. I coach bands in Montreal. I coach bands across the province of Quebec. Started working also with different organizations across Canada. I coached 2 artists last summer in Brussels. Did some of these workshops and master classes in Montreal, in Edmonton, Canada, in Brussels, in southern France, and here I am. I didn't even know today, 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know I would be coming to Prague. And, well, thank you, you are here. All right. So, I decided to brand my service, call it Pimp Your Show, from better rehearsals to better shows. And, in the past couple of years, I've been fortunate enough to work with major record labels in Canada. You might not know them, but this slide is interesting when it's presented in Canada. Here it's not. And many organizations in Canada, such as the National Alliance for Musical Industry, Canada Council for the Arts, different festivals and events. So the workshop today, there will be 3 parts, and I will cover 3 topics. Topic number 1 will be international music conventions, or I say international, but it could be national music conventions, just music conventions in general. This will be a first part. Then we'll go about preparing for a showcase for a music convention. What is the theory behind preparing your show? Because most artists, I notice that, and I'm guilty of that. I've done that plenty of times. Rehearsing songs in rehearsal space, and then simply going right before the show, writing down a set list and playing a bunch of songs and hoping for the best. It doesn't work. I've tried it so many times, I know it doesn't work. So I'll give you some theoretical things to think about on how to prepare a show, and then at the end I'll give examples of songs I've worked on in rehearsal space. We will play the songs, and then you will see the results on how I've done it in rehearsal space. I have a couple of, and then we will make exercises also. And even I would like, if we have time for that, if some of you want to share songs that you have maybe on social media or on Spotify or wherever, maybe playing one of these songs and analyzing the song and seeing what we can do with it. I want to help you change your way of thinking about your own songs when it comes time to share them on stage. So, international music conventions. First of all, question for you. What does it take to make it as an artist in the music business? Is there one element that artists need to have to actually?
Characteristic of the
one characteristic that you need to have. Courage. That's a good answer, but that's not the right one. Keep on going. Resilience is good as well, but it's not the right one either. Endurance. That's pretty close to resilience and courage, but charisma is important, but that's not the right one either.
Luck.
Pardon me?
Luck.
Yeah.
You don't want to.
How did you guess it? How did you guess that? Because, yeah, it is the right answer. It's the first time ever somebody gives me the right answer. Yes, the right answer is luck. But now, what is luck? That is the question. What is luck? Let's define it. Because luck is not necessarily winning the lottery. A lot of people mistake luck and winning the lottery. Winning the lottery is random luck. It's a coincidence. But it's not something you created. Luck is something that you can create. And there's one old definition of luck that I really like. It's from Seneca, old Roman philosopher. His definition of luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. This is the only thing you have to remember. If anything I will say today, I mean, it could be pretty much the end of the workshop, and then you would have to find out how I apply it. But this is basically, everything I will say revolves around this idea. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. I'll give you an example. Émilie Landry, she's a country music singer-songwriter. She's from New Brunswick, neighboring province to the province of Quebec in Canada. It's a bilingual province. She's a francophone, but it's a province where people mostly speak English, but there might be like a 30%, 40% French-speaking population. Her agent called me 2 years ago and told me about Emily, and we will see an example of her music later on. We'll see actually 2 examples of her music. So Emily has a great voice, fantastic songwriting, very professional attitude. She's signed to a very established record label, but she struggled to get gigs outside of New Brunswick, and as a matter of fact, I should say outside of northern New Brunswick, which is rather small. She would get gigs in that area simply because, well, that's where she's from, and she's been there forever, so people know her, and that's how she'd get gigs. Her agent is a friend of mine, Amandine, and Amandine calls me up and says, can you help us out? Because, yeah, she's great, but whenever she performs, especially in music conventions, she would play her songs, and everybody would say, oh, yeah, this is very beautiful music, and then Amandine would be running after every show buyers, venue programmers, festival programmers, and they would always say the same, be very polite. Yeah, very interesting, nice project, I'll see, maybe, might fit in my programmation, I don't know, don't call us, we'll call you. Basically, that was basically the answers she would get. So I worked with Emily, I've worked on her show and applied the very method that I will share with you today. And after we've worked on it, well, she landed 20 date plus tour in New Brunswick, opening act tour with Rosec. Rosec is a network of venues in the province of Quebec, and it's a major network of venues. She opened for a major star in Quebec. She landed festival gigs in Quebec, in France, in Switzerland. She was invited to perform at ECMA, it's East Coast Music Awards, Folk Alliance International, that's in the United States, Canadian Folk Music Awards, and Festival International de Louisiane, Louisiana International Music Festival in Lafayette, Louisiana, United States. So these are like very good results. And then, of course, from all of these showcase events that she did, well, she landed other gigs in the United States, on the Canadian East Coast, and basically all over. And since she sings both in French and in English, well, she was able to land gigs in the United States. So I was very happy about that. And I will tell you basically how we worked on that. So I said, okay, before I said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunities. Well, opportunities, we will talk a lot about showcasing today. Who has ever done a showcase at a music convention here? Okay, a couple of you. Good. Before we get into talking about the shows themselves, the showcases themselves, let's talk simply about how approach these music conventions and how to better prepare for them, because we're talking about opportunities, we're talking about a lot about people that we're going to meet. And this is an aspect that many artists overlook, in my opinion. They focus a lot on the music, and sometimes they do not focus enough on the business aspects of it. And let's be honest, it's called show business. This is what it is. And also, I am pretty sure, I don't know you guys, but I'm pretty sure that many of you would say, oh yeah, but I'm not that much into the business, and you know, like, music is art, and it's pure, and I don't want to be a product. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want to be, rings a bell, eh? I don't want to be a product. Nobody wants to be a product, but everybody's looking for a producer. That's weird, isn't it? You don't want to be a product, but you're looking for a producer? Kind of strange. Anyways, so no, this is a business, and knowing how to approach industry professionals is also important. It also is part of what you're going to do. So the first thing, even before thinking, well, once you've, I've made things a bit on the other, like upside down, but we will talk about networking in business. This is something that you do before you show up at the music convention. Normally, your showcase should already be ready by then. You know what you are going to present. You know what you're going to do. But the reason I put this part first is simply because afterwards we'll be talking about creation. We'll be dealing with the boring stuff right now, and we'll go towards the fun stuff. That's how I set it up. So, preparing for networking. Well, here are a few tips I can give you. And actually, this has to be part. It is business, but it also is creative somehow. Because you have to understand what you create and who you create it for. Because so many times I see artists in these conventions showing up and not knowing necessarily what they don't know what they're looking for. So they are unprepared because they don't know who they're talking to, they don't know whom they're addressing, and they don't know the various ways to navigate this ecosystem. So first things first, finding out which organizations do business with projects such as yours. This is very basic, but it's important to do that. You know what you're doing for what type of music you're doing. Like, who are the companies that deal with such projects? Which festivals book such artists? And in which format do they do it? And where are you? Where are you in terms of well, I say fame, but recognition? Where are you? So just knowing, like, who deals with people who resembles you is already having a good tool. And as strange as it may sound, and as business as it may sound, this will help you create your showcase afterwards. I swear that. Because just finding out who does business with projects such as yours, this means that you can maybe do some sort of industrial espionage. What I mean by that is, you look at a festival and you say, oh, I want to eventually play that festival. Cool. Who plays there? How did they reach that place? What were they doing before? What were their steps? So finding, just getting inspired by other projects, other musical projects' path will help you create your own path. That is one thing. Identify individuals, people, pros that you want to meet. So who is booking what? This is very important. And also, get as much information as possible on them without being creepy, of course. It's not necessary to know the names of their kids. This is weird, you don't have to go there, and you don't have to go there, but just knowing, getting familiar with people and getting some information. And it doesn't have to be weird. It just has to be, this is something that you can do rather naturally. Time is precious. In music conventions, it's completely crazy. I mean, it lasts maybe 3, 4, 5 days tops. There are workshops in the morning and panels in the afternoon, and showcases will start at 2 p.m. and then they will last until, I don't know what, 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. There'll be showcases all the time. And people are running all over the place. They're they're sleep deprived. They are underfed and overloaded with booze. This is what it is. They're overwined and overbeered and underfed, and they don't have much time. So, time is precious. So one thing that I strongly suggest is preparing your elevator pitch. Does anybody know? Do you guys know what an elevator pitch is? All right.
Short pitch, like
Short presentation.
Short presentation.
2 minutes.
Music is an art form. Music has to do with performance. Music has to do with psychomotricity. And performing has to do with improving. And sometimes I hear people say, oh yeah, you have it or you don't have it. Or other times I'll be in a rehearsal space with an artist. It happened again last week. The guy was performing in front of me. I was the only audience member. And he was not that much into it. And he goes like, oh yeah, but I'll be more into it, when I'm live, I'm more into it because there's an audience. I'm like, oh, really? That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense to me. I'm not a major sports fan, but I know a couple of athletes, Serena Williams, for instance. Awesome tennis player, queen of tennis for the past, 20 years or something like that. So Serena Williams, I guess that as a child, she had talents for sports, obviously. She was obviously gifted. But if she never had a coach to help her out, if she never had coaches to help her out improve, she would have never become who she is today. And I try to imagine Serena Williams in practice and, hitting the balls, but going like this, and no, I'll be more into it when there's an audience, because I don't really feel like it doesn't make sense, does it? No, I'm sure she beats the shit out of these balls each time she's practicing. I'm sure she sweats her life out like you wouldn't believe. She is a monster when it comes to training. And this is also what musicians should be when they're practicing. Because too often we're practicing and I know the song, but I'll be into it when the crowd is there. Yeah, whatever. You'll be awkward in front of a crowd. I've seen that all the time. And so that was a long parenthesis regarding the elevator pitch, but it's just to say that you can practice whatever you do. And this is true for rehearsal, but it's true also for networking. It's true for going to conventions. Getting ready for what you do is super important. And of course, in music conventions, once you've done your elevator pitch, because you found out which organizations are close to what you do, you identified people that you wanted to meet, you got information about them, you didn't waste their time, you worked on your elevator pitch, now they're listening to you. So you'd better have quality material to send them as fast as possible. And QR codes are good. Linktree is very good as well now, because, up until even like a couple of months ago, I'd go at events. I think it happened even at Mondial in Montreal. Someone gave me a CD. I don't even have a CD player anymore. Who gives out CDs? A CD is cool. It's fine. Okay. You sell it at the end of the show. People buy them just for the fun of having something at home to remember the show. But as a matter of fact, I use them as coasters now. You put my beer on it, and that's what it's for. It's no disrespect to CDs, but anyways, having like very good quality material is super duper important. I couldn't stress that enough. So that is pretty. Oh, and of course, yeah. If the connection with somebody is good, whomever you met, if the connection is good, well, stay in touch. And staying in touch is not necessarily always sending emails. Of course, sending emails is good, but social media is also good. Social media, don't necessarily turn into creeps either, but social media is a good way to simply stay in touch and let people know about your project and let people not forget about you and who you are. So it's a very efficient way to do. And of course, in this industry, creation is super important. What you do is super important, but personal relationships are also part of the industry. And it doesn't rely only on personal relationships, but it's part of it. And eventually someone will not book you at their event, but they know about you. And 3, 4, 5 years down the road, as your project evolves, and people sometimes change places. Oh, I'm working in this person you've met, books an electronic music festival, but you're playing country music, but you still know the person. It just happens that you had a chat with this person and you still know that person. 3 years later, the same person changed position, is now working for a record label. And you know what? They're signing country music artists. Well, you still know that person, and social media was useful, more useful than emails, because the person left the festival, well, such name at festival.com no longer exists, but the person on social media still does. So that is a useful way to do it. That sums up pretty much the very first part of what I'm going to do. We can take like a short break, maybe 10 minutes, and then we'll go into how to prepare. We'll get into the creative part of this presentation. What is the theory behind how I prepare shows and how I help artists improve their live sets. So maybe quick 10-minute break, and or how long a break should we take, Petra? Maybe 10 minutes. 10 minutes is good? Yeah. Everything I'll say here, I give the example of showcases, but the fact is that everything I will explain is applicable to any situation. It could be from performing only one song to performing a 2-hour show. These are just principles that I apply. I'll give the example of a showcase, but it's possible to do the same thing, and we'll actually see how I apply these principles on a one-song example. We'll see it later on this afternoon. But it's possible to think about all of these principles on any scale, any type of length of shows. So, as I said before, the very basic of what I believe in terms of building a career in music has to do with preparation meets opportunity equals luck. That's basically what I believe. And I'll show you how I break it down into a method to actually create shows. So First of all, so I'll talk about showcasing, but because I think it's important, but everything applies to longer shows. So what is a showcase? Basically, a showcase is a short version of a longer show. Well, okay, Petra and I have had a discussion about this because in North America, usually it's 20 to 30 minutes. I'm told that in Europe, sometimes showcases are longer, up to 40, 45 minutes. The same principles apply regardless of the length of the show. So my slide says 20 to 25 minutes, but you can adapt it. And it's performed by an artist or a group of artists before an audience of entertainment professionals. That's basically what a showcase is. Every entertainment business professional there is a business opportunity. This is what they are. So you're meeting them. North America has 20 minutes, 30, 40 minutes here. Regardless of that, it has to be exceptional. It has to be exceptional because keep in mind that everybody that goes to these conventions will see, 50, 60 shows within 4 days? That's a lot of shows. And if you simply show up on stage and simply play your songs, I'm sorry, but they will not remember your songs because they are overwhelmed with music. So even then, your songs matter, but not that much. That might sound hard, but it's true. What matters is you. What matters is if they are moved by you and if they remember you. They might not remember the songs, but they have to remember who you are. And this is much more important. This is North American mathematics. Change it. One poorly prepared minutes equal to 5% of your show. Well, here it would be 2 poorly prepared minutes equals 5% of your show, all right? And 2 poorly prepared minutes equals 10% of your showcase. So you don't have any minute to waste. I've seen that so many times. Artists being on stage, playing their songs, they're showcasing. And yeah, it's okay. One song, another song, yeah, blah, 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 whatever, songs. And by the 4th song, they start to be more into it. They start to be more dynamic. And then they will say something like, oh, it's too bad. Time flies so fast. It's already the end of the show. And, oh, we're just starting to get into it. Wrong. Please. You were just starting to get into it? No. You have to be into it like an hour before you hit the stage, all right? This is the truth. You have to be into it before. So many times have I seen artists prove in 20 minutes that you don't want to see them for a full hour. I've seen that too many times, all right? This is why I do what I do, because I'm fed up with that. It's true. So I'll give you a couple of do's and don'ts and a couple of tricks here. So here are the most common mistakes I see artists make while performing a showcase. Yes. So number 5 is playing songs as recorded on the album. This is true for showcases. This is true for shows in general, all right? Your album might be fantastic. Oh, yeah, yes, of course you can take pictures. And yeah, no problem. Well, wait for the 5 of them will be there. There's a concept here, okay? So playing the songs as recorded on the album. An album is completely different from a show. I just remembered that I have to send my voice towards the microphone. I was about to go like that. Send the voice over there. So, okay. So an album is completely different from a show. When you create an album, when you go into studio, you are trying to make songs in a way that they will be at par with songs that are playing, let's say, on the radio or on playlists, on Spotify. It has to be like the same type of level of aesthetics, and it has to blend well with other music, or it has to be blend well just by itself as an album. An album is made to be listened to in a car, listened to at home, while cooking. It's made to be listened to in clubs, in bars, and even in clubs. Sometimes you'll have different versions of clubs. You know, in electronic music, we know that you have like a normal version of a song, and then you have a club version of a song. It's a bit different because people are aware that the listening conditions of club is different than the listening conditions of car. It just makes sense. So playing the song as recorded, well, basically, you're not giving the audience that extra thing that they're looking for. I'm not saying that recorded music on album equals dead, but we want to have live music. It has to be lively. So I try as much as I can to extract out of songs all the elements that will help create a stronger bond with the audience. And we'll see how we make that. We'll see how I do that. So playing the songs as recorded on the album is a major no-no. All right, I often work with artists that do have electronic parts to their music. I often work with DJs, especially when I work with, let's say, hip-hop artists. They have lots of pre-recorded tracks, okay? Or many pop artists do have pre-recorded tracks. That are the tracks that are, you're right, they're actually the tracks coming from the stems that were recorded, okay?
To the sound guy probably and that's it.
All right. What I do in these cases is if I work with a DJ, I will make sure ahead of time that they come up in the rehearsal space with the separated stems, or we will use Ableton Live, for instance, and we will chop down sections of the music or isolate sections of the music to sometimes make an intro a bit longer or change the outro, or we will change parts in the song just to create a live version. Of course, it's still pre-recorded music. I agree with you. It's still pre-recorded, but I will work on the structure of the song to leave space for, let's say, song presentation. So we'll just have like a drum beat, for instance, and artists talking over it, and then starting to sing at some point, or we will make, I will create silence at some point, and sometimes work with click tracks, but still make it more organic. Because of course, if you have pre-recorded tracks and you're singing on top of them, well, and you sing on top of pre-recorded tracks for like, what, 60 minutes or 75 minutes, I'm sorry, but you're just making glorified karaoke. That's what you're doing. And this is not what we want. If people like it, that's fine with me. It doesn't mean that it cannot be enhanced. It doesn't mean that it cannot be made more spectacular. And this is, I do it a lot with artists that use electronica and tracks. Because I always want to make sure that artists, and we'll see it a bit later, but I'll always want to make sure that especially singers, those who are in front, those who are the performers, not because I believe there are two types of people on the stage. There are the singers, the lead singers, and those who back him up. You know, there's Mick Jagger and the rest of the Rolling Stones. Keith Richards is awesome, but he's not Mick Jagger. Both need one another to make something outstanding. Keith Richards by himself is not that outstanding, and Mick Jagger tried to release albums by himself, and it flunked. So they need one another. All I'm saying here is that that I try to find ways to make things just a bit more organic, and using And it's possible to do it even using pre-recorded tracks. The way I do it sometimes is, isolating spaces, creating musical games in between the singer and the audience. Musical games can be like call and response things, or movement, or letting space for a stronger bond to develop within a song. So let's say you have any song, any electronica song, but at some point you've established in the show that you want the crowd to start jumping all over the place. Because this is something that you can create. I love creating that, as a matter of fact. I love doing that. But if you want to have a crowd jumping all over the place, well, you have to lead them into jumping all over the place. And of course, if we're talking about artists that are world-renowned and who have like major hits that are worldwide known, well, it's easy for them to have the crowd jump around, simply because the song is already known, all right? But if you are not at that level yet, you have to work harder to make people jump with you. So how will you do it? Maybe you will extend a part in the middle of a song, then you will lower the volume, then you will physically engage with the audience, and you will basically tell them what to do. And then you have a DJ behind you that follows the performer and knows that, okay, we've extended some part here, and we're looping a part, and we're looking at what's happening between the audience and the performer. And then at some point, the performer makes a sign, and then we go to the next section of the song where it's more dynamic, and then we go to another section of the song, and then people start jumping around. But this is why and you've created that magic, even if it's with pre-recorded tracks. So that's how I do it, but yeah, of course I see all the time artists singing over the tracks of their album, but I think it's not as generous as you could be. So that's how I try to do things.
So cost effective, I think that might be one of the reasons.
Pardon me? Oh, cost effective?
Cost effective, because then and there is no other person than the artist.
Yeah.
That's all the producer, so he flies in, and like you just buy one flight and you have one fee. I think, it also it might
True.
be a little bit of a stress behind that, because it gets easier to tour them.
Of course, I've worked with a girl called Audrey, and Audrey was performing last spring at the Great Escape in Brighton, England. And she's by herself with electronic parts. And she plays acoustic guitar, and she has this Ableton controller, this pad. And we've worked on that because all of her music is pre-recorded. But we've worked on making it more organic by chopping up the songs into different parts and assigning them to various buttons on the launch pad. And we've also worked on movement, so that she would sing. Because often I see that as well. People who are with their computers, their laptops, and then they have the microphone here, and then they are concentrated on pushing buttons around and singing, and pushing buttons and singing, and completely ignoring the audience. Well, okay, it is accepted in electronic music. Yes, it is accepted. It is accepted by by a certain group of people who accept this convention. But regardless of the style you play, and this is something I always love to do, is making sure that even people who do not like that style will still feel that they belong and that they like what's happening. I've worked with a hip-hop artist who told me after a show that people came up to him and say, Oh, in general, I don't like hip-hop, but I liked your show. Boom, we've won the game. Same with Émilie Landry that I told you about a bit earlier. Country artist. Oh, people come to me after the show and they say they can't stand country music, but they love my show. I'm like, good. We've won the game. So same thing with Audrey. So first time I was working with her, she was, singing her songs and pushing buttons and stuff. And we've worked on a way to actually have her look at the audience and not be concentrated that much with the launch pad. And we've worked on making things easier for her to control all of her tracks, but still be in contact with the audience. And it changed her show. And we still made it organic as well. We've made it organic so that she still had freedom when she was performing. So she was not bound by a pre-recorded track that she could not escape. Oh, funny, she was performing The Great Escape, by the way. But I just noticed that. So these are things that you can do. Are you an electronic artist? Did you play electronic music? Yeah, okay. Two projects. Okay. So yeah, it's. I think it's always possible to work with your stems and trying to work. Practice ways to keep having your body language being towards the audience, and still work with your launch pad and make things easier for you. It's all a matter of communication, and this is what I'm interested in. This is what I specialize in, helping artists to better take the stage. I'll go back to that. So playing the songs that I recorded on the album, believing your songs are fantastic and expect the audience to love them from the get-go. Okay, I know that's mean. But what I mean by that is, in showcase situations, people will see so many shows and so many songs, they might forget them. So expecting your songs to be enough is not a good attitude. I know you love your songs. Your songs are your babies. I know that you've worked on your songs. I know that you know every lyric, every word, every comma that you placed in there, and you know every chords, and you know why you put them there, and these are your babies. But there are 50 other artists introducing their babies as well. So, and if also you say, oh yeah, well this song, this is my hit. No, it's not your hit. No, it's not your hit. It's not because your song is number 6 on your local community radio station that it's a hit. It's not a hit. And a hit is part of the general population's collective memory. A hit is a song that a lot of people fell in love with or fell in love on. You know, they met somebody else and, ooh, this is the first time we kissed, and that's a hit. And, oh, this song reminds me this road trip I took in the summer of 2020. You know, that's a hit. But your single that has, I don't know, 5,000 spins on Spotify, yes, it's 5,000 spins, and congratulations for that. But it's not a hit yet. It's a single, all right? So you have to do something more than just playing your songs. Another typical mistake, awkward silence in between songs. Yeah, I know. You play guitar, yeah, and you've got this special tuning for this next song, so you have to untune the guitar. Yeah, so it's like 15 seconds of weird silence. No, don't do that. Don't. Find ways to cover that silence. Is it your bandmate's piano intro? Is it a drum intro? Is it practicing blah, blah, blah while tuning and making it a moment? Maybe it is. Find ways to cover that. Awkward silence in between songs. This next song, blah, blah, blah. This next song, blah, blah, blah. This one, I can't stand it. All right. So, playing a song. This next song is about blah, 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 blah. Playing the song and the song. This next song is blah, 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 blah. And the worst version of it all is, I remember when I was a child, I used to love when my uncle would drive me to the countryside in his blue car. Song starts, when I was a child, I used to love when my uncle would drive me into the countryside in the blue car. Please be creative in your song presentations. Your first verse of a song, don't explain the verses of your song in your song presentation. Do something different. You are creative, you've written the lyrics, you know how to write, you know how to use words, use them to introduce your songs. So the answer to these mistakes is Pimp Your Show in 4 easy steps. I know it sounds like an infomercial. I made it on purpose. All right. So the first step starts with a P. What would be the P of the first step? Pardon me? Performance? No, that's not the first P. Preparation. You're pretty close. Planification, which is pretty close to preparation. All right. The second letter is I. I for what? I for what? I stands for. After planification comes imagination. Then comes, which letter comes for third? And M, you're right. M. M for Montreal? No, not M for Montreal. M for what? Music. M for music? No, no. Money, that could be a good answer. M for money. Money for nothing and the chicks for free. Money for nothing? No, not money. M is for mastery. And what would be the last letter? Yeah, P. I made it a concept here. P stands for performance. Yeah. So planification, imagination, mastery, performance. 4 easy steps. I was quite proud when I found that one. I was like, yeah, pimp. Because Pimp Your Show, the idea of calling my service Pimp Your Show, I found the name 4 years ago. But the PIMP like that, I found it only a month ago. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. All right, planification, imagination, mastery, performance. All right, planification. So this is how you're going to boost your creativity when you want to create a show. So ask yourself a few questions, such as, what is the type of event? We're still talking showcasing, but it does apply to touring. It does apply to everything else. What is the type of event? How long should I play? So many times I see that in showcase situations. They're at their 4th song, and then they wonder, oh, do we have time for a 5th song? Okay, so you're basically telling every organizer in the place that you didn't plan your show. You're telling everybody that you don't know what you're doing. If they give you an hour, you didn't a set for a festival, let's say, well, you didn't plan for a full hour. You don't know what you're doing. This is what you're, so how long should I play? What kind of opportunities am I looking for? Am I performing, you're in Prague. There's a music convention in Prague. This music convention will bring many record labels and stuff like that. And basically what you're looking for right now is to be known within the Czech Republic. That's cool. You can show up with your 7-piece band. No problem. Now you're performing at another event and you want to get an international tour. You want to tour I don't know, Asia or North America or South America, and you got a 7-piece band and you're not that famous yet, well, maybe it's a good idea to shrink down the format. Can I perform in a different format? Which one should I choose and why? Because the opportunities you're looking for is traveling. So this might be part of what you have to think ahead. What sets me apart from other artists? I know you all think you're all original, yeah, but how will you make sure that people understand it? We're all unique. I know I'm unique. Everybody's unique. That's cool. But how will you convey your uniqueness, and how will you make that people will fall in love with your uniqueness? Because this is what it's all about. And the most important one, that's why I put it in orange, what type of moments do I want to fit in my set? Now we'll go into that. Moments. Moments are much more important than songs. Songs are not important. As crazy as it may sound, songs are not important. Moments are more important. The reason I say that is that too often artists will prepare their set and say, oh, I'll take my best songs. Yeah, but what if your best songs all sound the same, for instance? Or what if you all play the songs just as on the album? There is no direction to your show, all right? So you have to make something more than playing songs. You have to create moments. So many times do I see that. The band is on stage, singer sits on stage, they start the song, bling, 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 first verse, right after there's 4 bars, first verse. There's no intro. The audience members don't even know that they must listen to you. They don't even care for you yet, and you've already started singing. They don't know if they don't even know if they want to listen to you, and you've already started singing. This means there was no intro. There was no intro to your show. You did not prepare the song to help you connect with the audience, and we'll go much deeper into that. So moments are more important than songs. Songs are interchangeable. Moments are not. Especially intro and closing number. Will work. I'll give the example of a 20-minute showcase. But this could be extended or shrunk. I'll show you a shrunk version of that this afternoon. Silence and intro. This is the first moment. What I mean by silence, you are at a music convention. There's a bunch of industry professionals who are there, booking agents, festival programmers, venue programmers, record label executives. All of these people either know one another or wish they know another person. So what are they doing? They're talking. They're talking together. They're exchanging business cards. They're paying rounds of shooters, and they're just drinking whatever they want to drink. Anyway, they're doing anything but paying attention. So at the beginning of the very first song, you have to make sure that people will listen to you. So maybe it's a good idea to stretch the intro. See, the song is not important. How you play it is much more important, and why you choose one song. Then take off in contact. Basically, like building a relationship with the audience. That is your second goal. Then I put fun and participation. I decided to put that there because I'll give you an example of a band, and this is what we focus on. We were wondering just before, what sets you apart? What sets me apart from other artists? Well, in the example I'll give, for some reason, it's fun and participation. It could have been virtuosity. It could have been quality of the lyrics. It could have been political statement. It can be many things. but I put that here. Then I put emotion right after. Why do I put emotion right after? Because people just had fun. People just had fun, so now they feel like they're your friends. They're completely open. It's possible to talk about a lost relative, for instance. If you put the song about the lost relative at the beginning of the show, people will not listen to you. That's for sure. It's guaranteed. I've seen people try it, and it sinks all the time. And closing number. These are very simple things, but this is how you must think about your show. And notice, I'm not talking about style here. I don't care about the style. Neither do I care about the songs. I care about moments, and I care about connection. The style of music you're playing is irrelevant. And what is fun, what I love doing is, talking about style, is working with an artist and help them connect with people who do not like their style. It happens all the time. Émilie Landry that I told you about, she plays country. A lot of people don't like country. But for some reason, after she plays her show, people come up to her and say, I don't like country music, but I love your show. Another artist I work with, David Campana, he's a hip-hop artist. Same thing, he told me, people come up to me, I don't like hip-hop, but I love your show. Oh, that's it. It has to be, by the way, it has to be about love, and it has to be about creating such a connection with the audience that the audience loves you, regardless of the songs you play, regardless of the style. They have to love you. And that is a strong connection. All right, so these are moments that I would put into a set. Second, so that was planification. Second step is imagination. Once you know what is the length of the show that you have to do, once you know your goals, once you know why you will be on stage, then you can start and imagine your set. So first thing is analyzing your songs, and we'll go into song analysis. We'll go into that right after. Set goals for every single song. Depending on how long the set is, I'll give an example later in which I took one song and fit 6 goals into only one song. If you build a longer set, well, then you can fix less goals per song, because at some point, you just dilute it and you put less goals per songs. But still, each song must have a specific goal. Think in terms of moments, not songs. I cannot stress that enough. Envision the show as a strategy to win the audience over. You're not on stage. You're not on stage to simply play your song and expect people to love them. You're on stage to conquer the audience. And this means having a strategy. If you are on stage and expect people to love your songs, you're actually begging for love, and it shows. You're begging for love, and you look like someone who's asking for something. You're not asking for something, you are giving. Artists must give, and this is how you will win the audience over. That's how you will conquer them. Think of ideas for musical arrangements, audience address, on-stage movement. Imagine in your head before you get into rehearsal. Too many times, I've done the mistake, thousands of times, rehearsing the songs, rehearsing songs, and then after we've rehearsed, okay, we should build a set list. Mistake. Why is it a mistake? Because you build a set list after you rehearse the songs. If you do that, you don't even know why you're playing the songs in the first place. How can you rehearse them properly if you don't know why you will play them? It's impossible. It doesn't make sense. You have to know why you're doing things, and once you know why you're doing things, you can do them properly. So think of musical arrangements, onstage events, and everything. Envision the show as a strategy to win the audience over, and write these ideas into the set list. And this is how you create a set list. And I'm going to show you how I create set lists. So first, before creating the set list, I will analyze the songs. I've created a fake band here. They're called, I've named them, they are Low G and the Beefy B Flats. They're from Nigeria, okay? I invented that. They don't exist. They have a bunch of songs, but we've decided to take these 5 songs, okay? There's one that's called Boom Bam Shagalagalam, another one's called See You Soon, another one's called Around the World, In the Hot Frying Pan, and Crying My Heart Out As I Think of You, all right? These are songs. This is how I analyze songs. First, things that are very simple and that do not request any type of imagination. BPM, how fast is the song? BPM, I'll write it down. Duration, write it down. So I have an idea of how long it'll do. I have to build 20 minutes and all of them together is 17:10. Cool. I will not squeeze another one because there will be audience address and there will be arrangements. So I leave a couple of minutes here just for transition. So I look professional. They've asked me for 20 minutes, I'll give 20 minutes. Rate on 5. It's not a matter of whether the song is better or worse. It's not better or worse, because why would I put a number 1 song? I would put only number 5s. No, rate on 5 is in terms of energy. How dynamic is the song? So Boom Bam Shagalagalam is a 5. And Crying My Heart Out As I Think of You is number 1, because it's very mellow. All right, and then I write elements that are part of the song, just to help me think about the song, just so I have ideas. Writing down these elements will stimulate the imagination later on. So, Boom Bam Shagalagalam is a super fun, upbeat song. It's easy to dance to. Can you see it might be a bit small? If you want to, I'll tell you. So it's easy to dance to. It has a fun title. Oh, we could try to have the audience sing along. That is a first idea. That's a goal, having the audience sing along. Cool. Okay, it has a cool saxophone and keys hook, kind of a ska feel to it. Yeah, definitely a good song for a fun, participative moment. All right, I know that. All right, See You Soon has a great chorus. Feel-good song, easy melody to sing. Oh, yeah, the band performs great back vocals on this one. All right. See You Soon. The lyrics kind of say goodbye, don't they? Okay, that could be a closer. All right. Keep going. Round the World. Nice bass groove. Lyrics talk about leaving the hometown to conquer the world. Yeah, that's what it talks about, Around the World. Talks about leaving hometown and conquering the world. Okay, good to know. All right. In the Hot Frying Pan. Interesting lyrics that use some local slang. I invented that expression in fake Nigeria, the Nigerian in my mind, all right? In the hot frying pan means being in trouble. Oh, that's my telephone doing this ding, 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 eh? Okay. Oh, Patrick Nadon was writing to me. She knows Patrick. Anyways. So, in the hot frying pan, I invented that it's an expression in Nigeria that means being in trouble. I don't know if this expression exists for real or not, but I invented that, all right? So interesting lyrics about that uses some local slang. Oh, local. This is something that sets me apart from other people. We're from Nigeria and we use slang. It sets me apart. Good. It adds flavor to the show. Great groove, easy to dance to. Not too fast, not too slow. All right. Can be used to engage the audience at the beginning of a show. All right, good to know. Crying My Heart Out As I Think of You. Deep, emotional song about the loss of a loved one. On the recording, this touches the idea of making a different version. It has massive orchestral arrangements with a whole symphony orchestra. Of course, we're not carrying a full symphony orchestra in a showcase. We don't have the money to do that. And we know that we're looking for a world tour. And we cannot do a world tour with a symphony orchestra. Well, not because we're not that famous yet. Cool. So we don't have the orchestra for the showcase, but I still believe it could be a good song to fit in the show. Let's try a minimalist version with just a singer and an acoustic guitar. Wow, different version. Cool. All right. Will fit perfectly right after the big fun moment. So now I've analyzed the songs and I have an idea. Of course, this is a fake analysis. These songs don't exist, and of course, I made lots of things on purpose, so it might be predictable, but still. This is still the way I work. Then I will write down the set list. Then I'll put the ideas down into the set list. And this is how I write a set list, because most people simply write songs one after another. This is not what I do. So, show template for low G and the beefy B flats. There are 7 musicians on stage. It's electro oriental Afro beat. I don't even know if that style exists, but I don't care. And I will fit these 5 moments into the show. So, boom. That's how I write the set list. First moment is silence, intro. I put around the world. Then I'll put the function. Why do I play the songs? The song is, the goals, this is the things I have to think about. I have to catch the audience attention. Catch the attention of the audience. Silence those who speak. Make them shut up, basically. Usually I put STFU right here. STFU moment. STFU means shut the fuck up. That's what it means. So give the audience time to see that something is happening on stage. Before starting to sing, make sure that people listen to you. Roll out the red carpet for the lead singer. Super duper important. So many times do I see bands, the whole band's on stage, the drummer is still working on his bass drum pedal, the guitar player is still like plugging and unplugging stuff, and the singer, who doesn't have an instrument in hand, shows up on stage. Yeah, he's on stage. Yeah, cool. And then the band is still setting up, and because everybody in the audience is looking at the singer, at some point the singer feels it's awkward, so the singer goes like, "Good evening, everybody, how you doing?" Just lost 10 points of charisma. The show hasn't started yet. You're in trouble. Why are you in trouble? Because by going like, "Hey, good evening, everybody," you're begging for attention rather than imposing your presence. Impose your presence. So begging for attention is no good, all right? So first song, rolling out the red carpet for the singer. Show that the singer has authority over the instrumentalists. Yeah, it's charisma and authority go hand in hand. It will help build authority over the audience, which leads to the perception of charisma. We'll see how we do that. Establish the singer as a leader. Go for the first round of applause. So I've decided that I would try to have these 7 elements within the first song. How will I do it? These are notes I take before I get into rehearsal, so I know what to rehearse. This is what I said before. If you play the songs and then you create the set list after, you don't even know why you're playing the songs. So you cannot rehearse them properly. If you know why you're playing the songs, then you can pitch ideas on a piece of paper. Well, no, that's not paper, but virtual paper anyways. You put the ideas, and then you know what to rehearse. So what will I do? All the band members are on stage except for the singer to make sure that they have time to set things up. Intro, synth pad on the 5th, music theory. All right. The drummer plays on the cymbals, like it goes like swashy kind of sound. The guitar player goes. Why do we do that? To catch the attention of the audience. We just make some noise. This rolls out the red carpet. It's not on the recorded version of the song. This intro does not exist on the album. It's not. But I put it there because I want to use it. I want to use it to make sure that people turn around and go like, oh, something's about to happen. They stop talking. Good. Roll out the red carpet. Singer comes on stage. Singer comes on stage and goes like, vroom, and singer simply goes like, and then there's silence. Oh, damn. This guy has power. It's not the, hey, how you doing? Lost 10 points of charisma. No, it's, I'm coming on stage. And then the singer goes like, left my hometown, Lagos, Nigeria. And people go like, oh. And then goes again, left my hometown, Lagos, Nigeria. Second time, a cappella. Ooh. And then it goes like, left my hometown, Lagos, Nigeria. Oh, damn it. We have a conductor now. We don't have just a singer. We have a conductor. Oh, when this guy does these signs here, these guys in the back listen to him and they react to what he does. This is a powerful person. This person is outstanding. It's the same dude. It's the same person. Has the same voice. All right? Exact same person. But all of a sudden, this person is perceived as a band leader. And not only a band leader, but maybe just a leader. So this person inspires the idea of following them. That's what it's for. So using the songs to create that. Band comes in on cue. Trash can ending. What is a trash can ending? It's the classic rock ending. Living my hometown, Lagos, Nigeria, bang, and singer goes like, bang. Why do we do that? Simply because it's the international signal of time to applause, please. That's why it's for. That's what it's for. And it leaves no ambiguity. Of course, on the album, it had a beautiful, very subtle piano outro. It's very subtle. But now we're live. It's not time to be subtle. I don't want to have that subtlety because if you bring that subtle outro to the song, well, people don't know when it's time to applaud. If they don't know when it's time to applaud, then you'll have like a lukewarm reaction to your show. But you don't have time for a lukewarm reaction. You want to have a hot reaction right away. So this is why you put the trash can ending there. That is not on the album. This is what I mean by not playing the songs as recorded on the album. You use it. All right, good. So now I've established that the lead singer is worth following. I've established that this person's a leader. We've established that we've got the first applause. There is excitement in the room. Boom. Second song. What are our goals? Avoid dead time in between songs. Make contact with the audience. Give the name of the band. Giving the band an original flavor. Say that you have an album out. Avoid the usual this next song, blah, blah, blah. Surprise the audience by starting the song directly on the chorus rather than on the verse. And hammer the chorus into the minds of the audience. Okay, this song on the album, still imaginary album, this song starts on the verse. Of course it does, like most songs starts on the verse. But for this time, what do? The band vamps on the first chord to the rhythm of the song, and then the singer goes like, Bonsoir Montréal. Well, okay, it wouldn't be Bonsoir Montréal, it would be Dobry Večer Praha, right? That would be, I made it shows I've prepared. It just shows that, hey, I'm willing to connect. Dobry Večer, everybody. This is the limit of my check, but so what? I'll do that, okay? And then you go like, that's how we say it here. Okay, good evening. We're Logie and the Beefy B-Flats. We're from Lagos, Nigeria. We're thrilled to be here to perform songs from our latest album. You were wondering whether you say, so we're here to perform songs from our latest album. And this one, it's called Back to the Beefy Roots. And then the singer goes like, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get in trouble. And back home, when we get in trouble, it's called Svým. And then the whole band goes like, putting your hand in a hot frying pan. The song doesn't start like this on the album. No, it doesn't. But life it does. Why? Because it's fun. That's all. It's exciting. That's the only reason it is. All right? So, boom, you start on putting your hand in a hot frying pan. And then you repeat the chorus like 4 times. Why? Because I want to hammer the chorus into the heads of the audience members. I make it on purpose. Why? Because I want them to remember me. I'm in a music convention. They will see 50 other shows. I cannot waste any possibility for them to remember who I am and what I do. So this is why I do it that way, all right? And you repeat the chorus a couple of times, and then you go into the chorus. The other day I was with something happened, and whatever. I don't know the lyrics of the song. It doesn't exist. So, anyways, so you get the picture, all right? And then you use the back vocals of the band. Boom, and it's powerful. I've just played with the song, played with the music, and that is super important. Then I'll go for, I just had a good time song, you know, a feel-good song, so it's time for Boom Bam Shag-a-lag-a-lam. What do I want to do? I want to create a memorable moment. I want to strengthen the ties with the audience. I want to showcase the magnetism of the performers. I want to hammer another chorus into the minds of the audience. And I want to open their hearts. I want them to feel like we're friends, because later on there'll be the emotional song. And since we will be friends, well, they will be open to receiving that emotion that you will want to carry afterwards. So boom, the drummer starts the beat, the singer speaks over the drum and announces that we'll need some audience participation. Because too often do I see that as well. People wanting to create this type of participation, but they don't prepare it well. So it always is awkward, simply because it's not well prepared. All right? So the singer tells the audience that, you know, the drummer starts the beat, and the singer goes like, okay, everybody, each time I say boom bam, you'll say shag-a-lag-a-lam. All right, boom bam. Boom bam. Boom bam. All right, and then and we'll do that, okay? So then you start the song, and then after the bridge, right after the bridge, the singer comes in front stage and goes like this. And then we're very low. It goes like, boom, bam. Come on, you got to answer. Boom, bam. 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 All right, you see what I mean? So you have to practice it in rehearsal space. And don't be shy. Practice it. Do it. If you do not practice it, it will be awkward when you do it on stage for real. You will not be able to, because you will not have built that confidence within yourself that you're able to do it. So it has to be practiced. And okay, so you have the big boom bam, and then once people are jumping around all over, well, they're completely open. This is the goal, all right? Now we go to the next song. Okay, it's the one that had a symphony orchestra. So now the singer goes like, oh man, feels so good. Takes out a stool, let's say it's a stool. Takes out the acoustic guitar, and we'll make a very dynamic contrast. So we'll surprise the audience with something that is much deeper. Singer picks up the acoustic guitar and goes like, gling. Ah, you remember, you know, there are people that you love in your life, and sometimes we'll gling another chord, and you talk over the gling, blah, 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 blah. And then, first verse. I remember when we used to dance together. I'm making up their lyrics as I go. Oh, you were so beautiful, but now you're gone, 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 gone. And I'm crying my heart as I think of you. Crying my... All right, the idea behind it is that people are open to listening to that, and then you do that, and then they'll take out the lighters or the telephones, and if the sadder the song is, the better it is. If people can be dead or whatever, that's even better, all right? And at the end of the song, you simply maybe sing a cappella. This ending can be subtle. This one, yeah, make it as subtle as possible so people do not clap. And it's so subtle that at the end of the song, you hear perfect silence. This is when you know that you've succeeded. People have listened to you. And then after like 2 seconds of perfect silence, and as you hear like tears falling down on the floor, then people, yeah, okay, I do exaggerate. Okay, it's true. But, and then you hear people clapping, and at the end of the show, people come to you and say, oh, this touched me so much. Yes. You removed the symphony orchestra, and you simply went straight to the heart. This is super important. So, and then the last song. What do I want to do? My goal is to show professionalism, show that the band is efficient, show an ability to create excitement, it shows that you're able to move an audience, and you're able to fetch an encore. Okay, now we're talking showcasing. You will not get an encore because it's a showcase, but it's a good, but still, I'll tell you how do you get an encore. So we start the song, we vamp the rhythm, vamp the intro, and then the singer goes like, oh, thank you very much for having us over. It was a pleasure to be here. It was a pleasure thanking the sound guy, thanking the light guy, thanking the venue programmer, thanking this and that and then and all that, thanking everybody. And you introduce all the band members. On the drums, there's so-and-so, and on the guitar, there's so. It just shows that you know what you're doing, all right? And then you start playing the song, and the song, the chorus is, well, I hope to see you soon. Oh, yeah, see you soon. I hope to see you soon. Yeah, and then, oh, because we know the band members, they're good back vocalists. So they harmonize the see you soon. And then, of course, the singer gospels the shit out of this and goes like, see you soon, and all that, okay? And then you have the two you got the backup melody, the back vocals, and you have the front man is just like surfing on top of it. And then and we'll, oh, I didn't put it there. Yeah, singer leaves us say we'll do a bumper, what I call a bumper. So the band plays and sings the see you soon, and then the singer goes like, thank you very much, it was a real pleasure to be here tonight, it was a real pleasure, thank you from the bottom of my heart, hope to see you once again at next time, and leaves the mic and goes like, thank you, as the band keeps going, see you soon, so and then the singer goes out. What happens is that you've rolled out the red carpet for the singer to come in, and you have another red carpet for the singer to come out. And this will clearly indicate, oh, it's the end of the show, so it's time to clap even louder. And then the band members keep on going like, see you soon. And what might happen is that the see you soon will the melody will go into the audience and people will sing with you. That will be good. And then it is a good strategy to eventually get that encore you're looking for. This is just an example. Of course, this show doesn't exist, but it's the idea behind it is to tell you that while you're at home, before rehearsing, before going into rehearsal, you can do all of these exercises simply to imagine your show better. And this imagination will lead you to having more dynamic shows, and it will help you squeeze every musical element within the songs, every musical element that can help you connect with the audience, because that's the only goal. So you know what you're doing, you know why you're doing things, and because you know why you're doing things, you're able to imagine how you're going to do them. And once you know how you're going to do them, then you can go to the next step after imagination, which is mastery. Rehearsing these ideas in a rehearsal room. So remember, once you get in the rehearsal room, you've got all of this information that you've prepared before going into rehearsal, and then you try it out. And you find new ideas. You will, because you know why you're doing things. And you've already oriented your imagination in one way. So focus on the reason why you're playing each song. Rehearse song introductions and audience addresses. Rehearse them, just to make sure that they are, that it's fluid. And if there's something that is a bit uncomfortable, well, work on it. Do not abandon something that doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good because you're not used to it yet. But try it again. Find the right way to do it. Fix problems. You will notice, you've played the songs over and over, and then you realize, this transition in between these two songs is not comfortable. It's a bit weird. Maybe we should work on it. This is mastery. This is what will make that when you hit the stage afterwards, people go like, whoa, this is outstanding. This is a great show. Because you fixed all of these little problems. Film yourselves. We all have iPhones or smartphones. Just film yourself. Use a little stool and a little tripod and film it. And everything that looks weird, identify it and work on it. So also, that's why, like rehearsals, when I rehearse a show, when I rehearse like a full hour show, it requires 30 to 35 hours of rehearsal just to create 1 hour. So many times I've done that, rehearsing shows before I started doing what I do. Yeah, okay, we're rehearsing the songs. Yeah, we're okay, we can go and do the show. A 1 hour show rehearsed in 2 rehearsals? And these 2 rehearsals, let's get real. These are 2 hour rehearsals because these rehearsals involved beer at some point, and so you didn't really rehearse. You just it was a social gathering in which you played songs, and then you think that you're ready for a show. No, it's not. So rehearse these things. Use a timer to make sure that you stay within the time limit, and stay creative. Be spontaneous. Seek new ideas as you rehearse, and this will create a show that is completely that is more spectacular, more outstanding, because this is what you want to do. You want to be outstanding. And then performance. Well, if you follow the 3 first steps, you'll feel more confident on stage. You will engage the audience more efficiently. You'll feel more charismatic. You'll build stronger connections with the crowd, and you will stand out and deliver a more memorable show. Yeah, planification, imagination, mastery, performance. These 4 steps do help stimulate creativity when you create a show. And it does help you prepare your rehearsals so you know what you do when you get in a rehearsal space. And also, I didn't say it, but a very simple trick to enhance the quality of a show. Most bands practice in their own rehearsal spaces, which are, and they will be in round, facing one another. That is super nice to write songs, to create new music. This is perfect to create new music, but it's not useful when creating a show. When you're rehearsing in a circle, the energy flows within that circle, and you're not getting ready to actually send the music to somebody else. You're not working on your capacity to communicate. So being placed as you would when you will be actually on stage with the actual stage plot, it will help you create the movements, because I just talked about performer, but I didn't talk about how, let's say, oh, guitar player is coming in for a solo. Oh, guitar player. So no guitar player, you don't stand in the back like this just playing your solo. No, beginning your solo, you step up front and you give me that guitar solo. And while the guitar player is giving that solo, well, our friend the singer here isn't like this with the audience. No, singer goes like this, sends their gaze to the guitar player to help them to enhance, to tell the audience, look, there's a guitar player right here who's doing like this crazy solo. This is highlighting the virtuosity of the guitar player, and it's just being generous to them. So this is something you can do as well. These are things you practice. Also, being in the actual stage plot situation, well, it will help the singer give indications to the band. I once played with a blues singer in Montreal. She called me up on the day of the gig. I had never played with her, and her bass player couldn't be there, so actually it wasn't a jazz club. And her name is Dawn Tyler Watson. She's a fantastic blues singer. And I showed up there, and she put a book on the music stand. There were like 500 pages of music in it. And she went like, oh, we'll flip to the pages and we'll play songs. I learned so much by playing with her, because the drummer tells me, listen, Olivier, don't panic, okay? Look at her, and she's a conductor. She will tell you exactly what to do. And she will tell you, he told me, stare at her butt. Yeah. Because as she was singing, she was giving all sorts of indication with her hand, and her feet and butt were actually like giving breaks, stops, and goes, and all of this. And she would indicate like tags, end of the song, okay, 3 times the chorus, 2 times the chorus, once. And she would do things like that behind her back. It was crazy. And she could entertain the crowd like I had never seen. She is just fantastic. And I played a couple of times afterwards with her. I just loved playing. Each time I played with her was magic. But she had perfected this capacity to be a conductor while singing. And she would give all the indications behind her back like that. It's like first time I saw that. Or she would also like top of the song once more, and then throw solos all over the place. What a performer. So that's pretty much the end of this part. And we can take a break, maybe grab a bite, and then I'll show you examples. We'll listen to some music. I'll show you examples of songs that I've worked on, videos that I took in rehearsal, and you will see like how I apply these different concepts when I'm working with artists. The videos that I take are like Most of them, like, well, there's one that was shot with 3 cameras, but the rest of it is just shot with an iPhone. So the quality is not fantastic, neither visual quality or the sound quality, but it will give you a very good examples of the concepts that I use when I coach artists.